This content is for informational and educational purposes only. You should not construe any such information or other material as legal, tax, investment, financial, or other advice. Nothing contained here constitutes a solicitation, recommendation, endorsement, or offer to buy or sell any securities or other financial instruments whatsoever by Draper Gorin Blockchain, aka DGB, the presenter, or other associated parties for the content being provided. Please do your own due diligence and seek proper counsel.
Boom. What's up?
I think you came out early on that one.
I came out early on the boom. Well, maybe there's like, you know, like the timing and like the buffering and stuff like that. So you can never be too early on the boom, right? It's like it's got to be some kind of quote.
Well, we have a special guest today.
Even our
Superworld straight, because I just put that up there. Is it the right?
I like that. Nice.
Is it the right direction?
What was that? Yeah. Oh, do you see it mirrored on yours?
Yeah, I didn't know if I see it mirrored.
It's straight. And
it looks right on ours. It looks right.
Look at Twitter right now. We're really important stuff for right. Let's see. Clicking on Twitter, it is straight on Twitter too.
Sweet. Okay, amazing.
Boom.
Amazing. Okay, great, awesome.
It feels like it's been forever. Good to see you.
Yeah, again. It's been a while. We've been working hard. A lot of news, and it's great to always catch up with you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. It's pretty fun. Okay, so wait, one fun thing I like to do whenever I talk to you is where in the world are you? Because you're always in a different.
Yeah, I'm in Lisbon this year. This was the last year in Lisbon, but we're moving to Brazil on Friday, so that's the next spot.
Shit.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, do you learn a language
from one beautiful place to another?
You learn a language every place you go to?
My kids definitely do, because they're in school and they learn the language, so they're definitely fully immersed.
How many languages?
They speak 4 right now. They're
4?
6 and 9. Okay. They speak 4. Yeah, we're trying to get them into like maybe 3 or 4 more languages over the next 4 or 5 years. So
that's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's fun. We're living Superworld.
Right? It's been such a long time. I remember I had Hrish on our meetup. I think that was back in like 2020 during COVID. So it's been like 5 years since I've known him.
Yeah.
Superworld.
Yeah. Sacramento.
It's crazy. Right before we went live, before you joined us, Hrish, we were talking about Rankin's shirt, the LA Blockchain Summit shirt, saying that's 2022. That's my ape right there. That's a Reaper design too, by the way. Anyway, my ape spray painting the LA Blockchain Summit logo. But before we go, if you're joining us for the first time or for the bazillionth time, go to dgb.vc. Make sure you're on the email list. We invest in early stage companies. So a lot of times we are the first check in. As an example, actually, I don't think we were the first check or anywhere close to it with Hrish, but we've been, in our previous iteration, DGH invested in Superworld. So full disclosure. But if you're an early stage startup in the space, in fintech, or anything touching this space, come pitch us. It's never too early. Just like it's never too early to boom, never too early to pitch us. And come join us. If you're an investor in the space and you want to, or not, and you want to have a wingman in the space, contact us and join us as well. We have we share deals with accredited investors and people who want to work with us all the time. So reach out. Actually, tomorrow, we should just throw this out there as a fun thing of homework. If you happen to be in the Bay Area or in Sacramento area, David Rankin is hosting a meetup up there with one of our portfolio companies, Thurman, who help provide small business loans to entrepreneurs, and really they provide the technology for groups that give the small business loans to entrepreneurs. But you'll get to meet them there and hang out and see them in real life. But right now we're in the super world, so let's hang out with Hrish. So
absolutely.
Hrish, why don't you give everyone just a quick background on you before we dive into everything? I think that would be fun.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks again for having me on. It's always awesome to catch up, and really appreciate all of your support over the years. Give a quick background on myself. First and foremost, I'm a digital nomad. And as I mentioned earlier, with my family, so we all live around the world. Just to give you a sense on the travel, my 9-year-old and 6-year-old, my 9-year-old's lived in 30 countries already. So, we live around the world. We love the world, love cultures, people, places. And it's a lot about what Superworld's about, which I'll go into when we go into the vision. But my background is I start off in management consulting. I worked in investment banking. I was on Wall Street. I was at UBS and HSBC in New York. Started off in real estate investment banking. Hey, Emilio. And then got into venture capital in New York. Worked for a well-known investor named Adam Stern in New York. Just got off the phone with him. He's one of my close friends, and he's also an investor in Superworld. Learned a lot about the venture capital business from him. Took several companies public, did a couple of M&As. And then I had a crazy idea about 15 years ago. And I have a lot of crazy ideas, as you can probably imagine. This one was, wouldn't it be cool to go somewhere in the emerging markets and start a VC fund? So I went over to Eastern Europe. Back in 2009, went to Ukraine, Russia, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, and Moldova. It took me about 1.5 years, but I ended up starting a venture capital fund backed by Viktor Pinchuk. Viktor is a very big investor out of Ukraine. He backed me in starting a fund called East Labs. We invested in about 25 companies in the region. Preply is one of our companies. They're now the largest online tutoring marketplace in the world. Did the same thing in Belarus. I'm on the board of Tech Minsk, which is an early stage investor out of Minsk, Belarus, which was backed by the US State Department and Google. And there was a company that Facebook acquired that went through Tech Minsk called MSQRD. They do all the augmented reality for Facebook and Instagram. So they went through Tech Minsk, got acquired by Facebook, and that was where I got my first exposure to augmented reality technology. And then after that, I became the first biz dev early employee at TopTal, which is a talent marketplace backed by Andreessen Horowitz. I was, early employee there, and kind of led their biz dev at the beginning. And so helped grow and scale TopTal. And so learned a lot about growing and scaling a marketplace and a platform. And then previous to Superworld, I started Rogue Initiative Studios, which is a film, television, gaming, and VR studio in Los Angeles. My co-founder had produced Call of Duty, Modern Warfare series, and Ghosts. And my production partner there is Michael Bay, the action director. And so at Rogue Initiative, what we do is we build franchises across feature film, television, gaming, immersive content, all the way to amusement park rides and toys. And what I learned from that is a Michael Bay movie like Transformers and Call of Duty, the game, are really the same thing. They're built in an engine, Unreal Engine, Unity Engine. You can build anything you want in these gaming engines. And about 9 years ago now, there was a game called Pokemon Go that came out, which I'm sure everyone's familiar with. There were people running around the world looking for these little digital Pokemon. And my co-founder and I, Max Woon and I met each other because we spent some time working together on the YouTube platform. So we also have experience on YouTube and know that platform inside and out. But we saw Pokemon Go and we thought, you know what? Why does it have to be about Pokemon? Why can't it be about your business? Why can't it be about your walking trails? Why can't it be about your favorite restaurants or your travel itinerary? Or why can't it be about your favorite sports team or the not-for-profit you support? In other words, how could we enable you or anyone to be able to create content in real-world locations, discover content from anywhere, and monetize in real-world locations? And that's where the vision of Superworld came from.
It's so cool. Yeah. So, and you guys in, in previous years and stuff like, so Emilio mentioned, right, that he is a Superworld land baron. By the way, he said you're in the best place now, Portugal. I don't know if you caught the first 30 seconds, Emilio, but he's moving away from Portugal like this week.
Yeah. I'm in Lisbon right now. Emilio, if you're here, we should try to find a time to meet up if you're around. But I'll be back and forth a lot. But yeah, I loved it here this last year.
I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. So done. So where I was gonna go to is Emilio's a land baron. I'm also a landowner on Superworld. I think Rankin might be as well. It's impossible for Rankin to not own land in any metaverse. You know, like if somebody could low cost launch a metaverse for under, I don't know, $20, you can guarantee that Rankin will pay you back that $20 by buying land in it. But I don't know if you could launch a metaverse.
Don't launch a metaverse just because of that.
What? That would be really awesome.
Like persistent and last.
How rad would it be if you found out that somebody launched a metaverse just to sell you the land in it, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I could probably call that out by
now. So Superworld allows you to buy land and in it, and it's different in that we joke about the metaverse. It's not actually the metaverse. It's the real world, right? It's a super world.
Okay.
It's our actual globe with a grid over it where you could buy pieces of the grid. So you mentioned walking trails, right? Because I know we've talked about it so many times. I always talk about Lizard Rock, a hiking place that's next to my house. That to me is almost a religious experience, right? And I own Lizard Rock in Superworld, right? It's important to me. It's a fun place. Other people did things that might be profitable, like getting airports and stadiums and stuff like that. I'm like, Lizard Rock, right? But tell people about how that works. And by the way, there's already a question here, so maybe you can weave into it. But they said, LinkedIn user said, where do you see RWA intersecting between? So RWA is the buzzword for real world assets, right? So how do you see those real world assets interacting with this kind of overlay on the world that you give people access to purchase? And what's the point of purchasing it, I guess? I'm doing 7 circles around what the heck is Superworld?
Yeah. No, it's all really great questions. And, I think that one thing that we've seen is as people get to understand what we're doing, and it's been a journey, right? I think the whole world is getting more and more, of an understanding of kind of what the vision of Superworld is. And it's very exciting because I think when we started 2017, a lot of the concepts that we were talking about were pretty foreign. Now we're moving into tokenization of real world assets and, other ways to interact with digital assets that are creating real world utility. And that's ultimately what Superworld's about. So when we use the word, metaverse, or when people use that word, they oftentimes think of like a video game with avatars, right?
Yeah.
And Superworld's very different. So Superworld's all about the real world and your real life. I always say I have 2 kids. The last thing I want to do is suck them into a virtual world. Superworld's different. It's about the real world. And it's also, our mission is about, what if we could all own a decentralized virtual world that could positively impact Earth and humanity. So I always say the world needs Superworld. It's like the world needs Superman or Superwoman. The world needs Superworld. So there's kind of this two level approach. One is, how can I build tools for you, Alon or David, to be able to monetize your world, which a world is a map. So you have a map, I have a map. It's a map of the world, right? And what I want to do, and I can, if you'd like, I can give you a quick demo of the platform.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
The map is kind of the way to think about what Superworld is. It's a way for you to add things onto your map. Okay. And you can, add content onto your map. You can, sell things onto your map. And so you have a map, I have a map, anyone has a map where they can create and monetize real world locations. The other aspect of what we've done, and I'll go into this in more depth in a second, is we've divided Earth into 64 billion properties. So 0.01, 0.01 longitude, latitude. So I'm looking at the property interface at the moment on the map. And do you see all those spots all over the map, the heat spots that are kind of popping up? So these are all places in the world that people are buying property. Okay. So as you can see, people literally buy everywhere. And the map, the hot spots are slowly propagating. So, I'm just going to zoom in on New York City to kind of show you how this works. But as I mentioned, we divided Earth into 64 billion plots or blocks. Each one is priced at about 100 polygon, and you can buy real world locations. And when you own those locations, you earn from everything that happens at those locations. So I've just zoomed in on New York City. I'm just going to click on one of these blocks here that's already owned as an example. And so if I click on a block that's already owned, if you want to buy that block, you have to make an offer. And so it's owned by someone, you have to make an offer to buy it. Anything that's not colored is available, meaning it's unpurchased. So today's price of 100 polygon is about $22 US. So here you could buy a block of Little India in Manhattan for $22. Cool. Yeah, and as an owner of that block, to be clear, you earn at this location. I'm just zooming in on the map. You earn at this location across advertising, e-commerce, digital commerce, data, gaming, analytics, DeFi, RWA, bookings, ticketing, anything you can imagine. Yeah, go ahead.
Is that happening yet? And can you give an example of somebody earning, or is that in the works?
Yeah, no, we've definitely it's totally built out. People are selling things, and I can walk you through what that is. Cool. And I'll show you one last piece, and then I'll show you what's happening on the map. So you can reprice properties. So if you bought one, this one's like repriced to 39,000. One's price. So just to show you that once it's yours, you can price it to whatever you want, right? We have, the Burj Khalifa, whoever owns that has priced it to whatever, whatever these zones are that you own. People have different kind of values for them. And what's really interesting is, and you told me these stories earlier when you were talking about your properties, everyone has a story. So when I ask them, why did you buy this place or that place, they're telling me a story of their life, their favorite, their walking trail or their favorite sports team, or where they have a business, or where they own real world assets. Maybe they own a piece of real estate somewhere or store. And so what we did was we enabled them to add all of these things to their world or their map. So they can create a business profile, they can upload content, 3D content.
See, so now
just an example of a 3D piece of content. You can post links. You could build a 3D digital twin. So, if you have a location and you want to build this.
We talked about this back in the day. You can, so you just showed that woman had created some 3D content in that space in New York. Is the app available for people if they're physically there to interact with 3D content?
Yes, 100%.
So I could put myself with my arm out like this on Lizard Rock, that hiking trail I told you about, and reward someone who goes there and takes a selfie with me at the top of Lizard Rock.
Yeah. So,
really dangerous. Actually, I should think of something different. You could fall off that rock. All right.
Yeah, I'm going to show you what we've built that allows you to digitally or physically interact with content at any location on the map. And that's part of our vision, is to enable people to share their map and benefit and get rewarded, with our upcoming token, which I'll talk about, from interactions digitally on their map. So I can, back to your Lizard Rock example, maybe see that content on the map, but I'm not at Lizard Rock. Or I want to go to Lizard Rock and I want to check into Lizard Rock at that location and interact with whatever it is that you've left there, right? And so I can benefit from doing both, and I'll show you real world use cases there. But basically, as I walk through the feature sets, this allows you to sell tickets, create digital assets, and we just recently added group chats to the map, which allows you to, if it's a WhatsApp chat, maybe it's a Telegram chat that already exists, you can add that onto the map, or you can create a Superworld chat as well, integrated with both of those chats. And you can enable other people to discover chats in these real world locations.
Secret treasure hunt. That'd be cool. You go.
Well, that's what I was thinking, but I think it's sort of treasure hunts. It's like we all joke about go outside, touch grass, whatever, but we have like a big local startup community, right? And I always have said for years, let's just do like a group hike together or this or that. But it's really hard. One, not everybody necessarily wants to go out and sweat with everyone else. But also it's hard enough to get everyone to go to like a lunch once a month, to leave home, to go on a hike. It might not work. But if you could do it in a decentralized way where everyone does it in their own time and whatever, and maybe there's a reward at the end of the thing, or maybe first person, the order in which you meet my avatar at the top of Lizard Rock is a guaranteed pitch meeting with me tomorrow or something, right? Like, or some kind of goofy thing like that. You could have a little fun. I could see it working with startup communities and just communities in general, or even families, right? Like, I give my nieces and nephews some kind of treasure hunt, and you do different things like that. But I think in general, it's also can be an e-commerce type of situation, right? You could do something for a local business. If I'm using the example of my hiking trail, but I'd be like, this coffee shop supports the open space initiatives in our town. We want people to use the open space. So if you make it to the top of Lizard Rock, you get a free coffee next time you come in, right? And it's a way to show some of these things, or to do some of these things. You could also do more simple things, like literally just check in, like kind of like the old school Foursquare and stuff like that, check in for a discount or whatever. It's a model that doesn't exist anymore because the rewards mechanisms, our user experiences and the way we interact with the world is different today. You can create new versions, right?
Easter eggs. That's right. We can Web3 version of Foursquare. So I'll show you an example of that. Yeah. Like, what's your favorite restaurant?
Do you want to bring your stuff back on the screen?
Yeah. Am I back on the screen or no?
Yeah.
Am I?
Now
okay.
Now you turned it off, so hit present
again.
Oh,
okay. Yeah. Let me share. Yeah, I was going to share. I didn't know if it was sharing or not. I want to make sure it was. Okay. So here it is. What's your favorite restaurant in LA or wherever? Could be anywhere.
Santa Barbara. It is called, let's go to Bettina in Santa Barbara.
How do you spell it?
Bettina, I think.
Okay.
It might be, there we go.
Yeah. So there we go. Took half a second, right?
By the way, everyone should go to this place. Pretty awesome.
So yeah, so I've added it. If you see the bottom left, save successfully to your world. So I've added it to my world. I'm going to label it as dining. Okay. And now it's added to my world, and I put a dinner bell on it. Okay. So in my world, I'm recommending this restaurant as a place of dining. And just as an example, I can come in and I could digitally check into this, right? Digitally check in is interacting with this restaurant in some way digitally. It could be that I'm looking at their menu. I could be, activating one of their coupons, making a table reservation, walking in and visualizing the restaurant, a digital twin like I showed you. So, lots of ways that we're building out for you to digitally interact with the place. And then if I discovered this through you, Alon, because it's one of your favorite places, then you'll receive rewards because you recommended Bettina for me in your world. And I'm digitally interacting, or if I physically go there, I can physically check in like Foursquare.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's
so there's two ways to check in.
And where do these rewards come from?
So that goes to, I think something that we've been working on for a long time, and it's been a long time coming, but we're launching our token. So SPWR is coming. We're going to be launching that with Republic in a community round. So Emilio or anyone who's listening who's part of our community, if you haven't yet, join our whitelist, and it's Superworld app /token. So again, Superworld app /token is our whitelist. And cool. Anyone in our community.
So tell us about that. I'm going to add Coop is a part of the community, hangs out on these sometimes too. What's up, Coop? So we're learning about the Superworld token that's going to be launched soon. So tell us more about that, Hrish.
Yeah. So, the token is going to be a way to basically do several things. I think first and foremost is to be able to receive rewards when I interact with things, let's say, that you recommend, Alon, as an example of Bettina, the restaurant. So if I discover Bettina and I interact digitally or physically, then I'm receiving rewards and you're receiving rewards for benefiting me. And I'm closing the loop by telling, Bettina and Superworld that you're the one who got me to go to Bettina, similar to you're the one who got me to go find this Pokemon, right?
Yeah.
And I'm informing, Niantic, the creator of that company, and that's providing them revenue because the restaurant could then create ways for people to come to their restaurant, as you mentioned.
As you get more and more people utilizing it, you'll hopefully have more and more people maybe advertising within the system too, and doing some things like that, and creating more and more incentives and rewards and things for more usage, and then it grows and kind of perpetuates.
And we have a decentralized way to onboard businesses as well. So I showed you how you can star a location, like I starred Bettina as an example.
Yeah.
But we launched our white paper last week. That's at whitepaper.superworldapp.com. So you can check that out. And it goes into kind of the ins and outs of SPWR. And one of the things that we're really excited about is if there's a business that you love, you can stake to that business. And the ability to stake to that business allows that business to earn yield and to be able to receive an in-game way of using that generated yield to attract more customers to their business. So you're basically...
So if I have Superworld tokens, I stake them to Coop's restaurant, and I tell everyone, go to Coop's restaurant. Coop's restaurant's the best. As a fan of Coop's restaurant, I'm promoting it. Coop's restaurant receives part of the yield too?
Yeah, you receive part of the yield for doing that. Yeah. Coop's restaurant receives part of the yield. And then Coop's restaurant...
if they never sign up, it just collects until they sign up?
It collects to a certain cap. And then basically they get informed by social media and email and other ways that, hey, look, Alon is a fan of, your restaurant. you've earned, $50 here on the platform. It's kind of like early days of PayPal when you got an email that you had, $25 on PayPal to spend. And basically what would end up happening is you would figure out what is PayPal and how do I get my $25? You'd join it, probably connect your credit card, and next thing you know, you're spending that $25 because you're buying something on eBay, right? Or sending it to someone. And so similar here, what we're doing is allowing you, Alon, to bring Coop's Restaurant on board, Coop's Restaurant to then get their $25 of credit, and then connect their credit card to Superworld and get more people like you, Alon, to recommend their restaurant, to join David's world, because David has learned about Bettina's or Coop's Restaurant from you.
Well,
maybe
it's a version of like Yelp, in that, how a lot of restaurants will say like review us on Yelp, it'll have that sticker in the window. But if it's in Superworld, then it also brings them business, but they get paid too.
Yes.
Right? Because I don't get paid for the Yelp traffic my restaurant is serving ads on. They're selling a different restaurant when you go to my restaurant's page on Yelp, right? So there is that.
Well, so it makes sense for businesses to go on there and start listing themselves on there too, right?
Yep. And you can do that. That's like one of the first features that we have is create your business and add your business. And the point is,
influencer can pick any location, promote it, and if people check in and do it, they'll just start earning money. You could put like your money where your mouth is. Like we could all, stake one park or coffee shop, and we're just like blockchain Tuesdays at 507 Coffee in Thousand Oaks, and then we all just sit in the lobby, hang out, hold court, and tell everyone to check in on Superworld. We'll start making money from that, and that coffee shop will make money, and eventually, like you could do some cool stuff. You could do some goofy things, right? Like we could all do it at the same time at 3 different coffee shops in 3 different cities, but like it's just like Wednesday is the day we do coffee hangs. You were about to say something.
You could do that virtually too.
So
right?
I got a question real quick. Could you do this? One of the gaming cafes, could you essentially do this at a gaming parlor and have everyone meet up there since they're already Web3?
Yeah, you could do it on any business. I just showed off the application and showed how, in half a second, added a restaurant that Alon loved in Santa Barbara. Nothing to do with Web3. It's just it looked like an Italian restaurant or something.
Yeah, good pizzas.
Good pizzas. Yeah, a pizza place. And, so you can do it with any type of business. We're built on Google Maps. So anything you can search on Google, you can do this with. And more coming, right? So the original kind of vision or the preliminary vision is how do you get that restaurant to join and then connect into Superworld, similar to the PayPal example. But there could be ways to fundraise around certain projects. There could be any Web3 kind of example you can think of can be applied to the digital interaction that we're kind of building out in terms of the product roadmap.
I wonder if you could do something like I'm coming up with a novel, kind of silly idea, but kind of awesome idea, right? Like I like to get those hiking trails. Nobody's going to be able to. I doubt the local government's going to be able to collect the bounty on the hiking trails. But if I were to do something like that and promise, I don't know what the legal ramifications are, if I'd have to pay taxes on the revenue and then donate it or something, but say like anybody who checks in on Superworld at my hiking trails and any revenue I make from them doing interactions and things on these hiking trails, I'm going to donate right back to the open space, right? And it kind of like incentivizes people to go, but more importantly, it could hopefully pay for some of these things. You could probably come up with some cool things like that for community initiatives, right? Like nonprofits that are doing really good things. You have people check in virtually, even if they're not necessarily coming to they're not like volunteering or whatever, but they're checking in, they're going online, they're seeing the good that this nonprofit is doing, and then they're actually earning revenue for that nonprofit.
Yeah, or they're actually even adding to the revenue by donating or interacting in a way that's earning
hopefully
revenue.
They do more, but like at a bare minimum, just checking in does something. It's like everyone, not everyone, but like people who feel like doing something online is doing something. It's like the bare minimum of doing something, but they like feel good about themselves because they've shared a nonprofit or whatever. But in this case, they actually could be earning revenue for that nonprofit or something like that. Just thinking out loud. I think the thing that drives the most usage is usually the selfish things, right? Like if we're being real, like cut small business, and that's not selfish for a small business to want to make money. That's their job, and you want them to stay in business. But in general, if people can make money, they're going to utilize it more. And think about it. If you think about it from the perspective of every single one of us is making money for the companies, for the apps that we're using when we use them all day long. And none of us are getting rewards from it, right? You review something on Yelp, you're doing your friends a solid and your community a solid by saying this place sucks or this place is awesome. But Yelp is getting the eyeballs. They're taking that data. They're monetizing it by selling ads to other places, and you're getting no money. Like if I review Bettina and I bring traffic to the Bettina page, they will have an ad to another Italian restaurant in Santa Barbara on that page, right? And it's kind of messed up. Bettina's creating the content, they're doing the thing, and they're being sold they're being sold Little Caesars down the street, some shit version of what they do, right? It's kind of crazy. That's the beauty. That's the utopian part of the kind of Web3 world, right? Like what you're talking about. So this is awesome. So go more into the token stuff that you started to tell us about.
Yeah, so that's one interesting utility of the token, which is rewards for interactions that happen digitally or physically in real world locations. Another really interesting one that is I think going to be pretty transformational is we are enabling users to stake SPWR to upgrade their real estate to premium real estate. And you can think of maybe the analogy of a house to a hotel in Monopoly, where you can upgrade your kind of privileges of what you get. And what we're enabling is the ability for you to upgrade a piece of virtual real estate and be able to earn benefits from global virtual real estate. So what's happening around the world. So as an example, if you own a plot on the walking trail, as you mentioned, you can create a map, which is a world, right? You can put that walking trail on the map. You can do all kinds of things on your map anywhere, regardless of where you own real estate.
Yeah.
And then hopefully what will happen is other people will similarly create maps or take your information and put it on their map. Kind of like how I put Bettina on my world. Like I just asked you, but I would have discovered it on your map and then I could put it on my map. But using this new token utility with the SPWR program to upgrade your real estate, now I benefit from global virtual real estate sales.
Now, anybody can participate and create a map, right?
Say it again.
Anybody can participate and create a map, participate in your system.
Yeah, 100%. Right? It's free. You don't need to own virtual real estate to create a map.
At what point do they have to own the virtual real estate in the application?
So owning virtual real estate is a recognition of the fact that you think that there's a certain point in the world that you're interested in, you have a connection to any of those things, Could be a business, it could be a location, and you're buying that because you want to. You're planning to maybe spend some resources or time in that location, right?
Yeah.
And you think that potentially others will maybe do the same in that location, right?
Okay,
so that's one reason.
Alon's restaurant analogy. I know that Alon really likes this restaurant. I know that he's chatting on it. I know he's trying to convince them to stake their tokens or whatever. And I know that he's going to go on there and chat and talk up the restaurant. So if I bought that restaurant location, do I get a benefit from all that? And what is that benefit?
So right. So if you buy a location, then you benefit from everything that happens at that location across everyone's map. So if you know Alon, everyone's map. Yeah, everyone has a map where they can do anything anywhere. They're not restricted. Yeah. Okay. I just promoted Bettina just now in my world, right? Someone else could see Bettina in Santa Barbara in my world, and they could go.
They're not going to see your map, but they're not going to see your map, right?
They would see my map. They would see my map.
They would see my map. For example, anybody who uses it can see anybody's map, but usually you'd be referred to a map because you share it with me, right? Or I know Hrish, I'm going to go look at his map. I know Coop, I'm going to look at his map. Or maybe I go to, I discover Coop's map because I go to, the East Coast. I go to DC and I know that's Coop's area and he has all the points and places that are his favorite places, right? And I trust him because I know him and he's my friend and I want to go to the places he recommends.
So you can see a specific map. So you can filter maps as well.
Yeah. So, you're asking a really awesome question because more recently, and I'll give you guys some alpha here of what's coming, is I saw a video. I don't know. You've probably seen this video. It's a viral video about the early days of YouTube. Okay. And it's the YouTube founders and they're sitting around complaining about how there's only 60 videos and they're random and they're about cats and just no one's watching them, and they're just like, man, like, how do we get people to upload some cool videos? Right. And we all know that effectively YouTube became a way to search for any type of video. It's not about certain topics. You can find videos about any topic. And if I go to Alon's channel, he might have videos about, crypto, and he might have other videos about travel, and he might have other videos about restaurants or whatever, right? Or Coop might have videos all about one topic. As an example, maybe he's a travel guy and all of his videos are about travel. And then David, maybe you have 3 topics. Maybe it's like exercise, travel, and food or something, right? You got it. So, but if we navigated YouTube by channel, that would not be very effective, right? So if I went to Alon's channel and I'm like, oh man, he writes a lot about crypto, which I like, but I'm not really into this other topic, right? So then I'm like, okay, it's cool. I mean, I got to sort through a lot of his videos to find the ones I want. And then I go to your channel and I'm like, well, I like 2 of these topics, but not the third. Or it could be, I love all 3 of these, and David, I love all of his content. I'm going to subscribe to your channel, right? I mean, that's YouTube behavior, right? But the point is what YouTube, how YouTube works is not, I'm going to follow your channel and then watch all your videos on your channel. I'm just going to search for a topic and I'm going to get content regardless of whose channel it's on. Right. And over time, I might develop a relationship with that content and the creator and then follow you as a channel. Right. And so the alpha is where we're going with this is the ability for anyone to add anything onto their map. Right. Which is what I've shown you already. But the way to think about it is not, I want to see Alon's map. I think Alon described it well, which is I'm going to the East Coast. I'm going to search for certain things and Coop's content pops up because Coop lives there and he's made a lot of content on the East Coast that I'm suddenly watching because I know him. And even if I didn't know him, I'm searching for content that he, coincidentally is posting.
It's like when you see a lot of people will look at restaurants on like Instagram. And it's hard to tell which restaurants are actually really good or not because pictures can make every place look awesome, right? Especially pictures of food. But then you go like, oh shit, Coop's following them, or some influencer that you recognize is following them, and you go, oh, this place probably is really good because that other restaurant I love is following this restaurant. The chefs must be friends or something. You create ideas in your head, but that's kind of the point, right? Of what you're saying is I can find a place and then I can see who's the influential people there or who's added it to their maps and go, oh yeah, I trust this one. Hrish did it. You know, Rankin, he's hit and miss, but if Hrish put this on here.
That's right.
Just imagine like celebrities, like everyone follows these celebrities, right? So like, for example, just thinking of one, Cardi B, and she goes somewhere and she doesn't broadcast every single hole in the wall restaurant she goes to, but she would probably know some dope spots. And that would be really cool. People would be like, I want to go everywhere she went because, whatever. And you could imagine the partnerships. You could do quests. You could do scavenger hunts with this Superworld thing. This is an awesome idea, man. Hrish. Hands, 2 thumbs up, man.
Thank you. But the beauty of it is we all build it together, Coop. So the point is you have a map, I have a map, Alon, Cardi B, David, we all have maps. And the thing that's, I think,
we're all on
really
the same level.
Yeah, we're all in the same level, right? Yeah, I mean, we are because you know why? I might actually prefer Alon's map to Cardi's B map because I'm like, whoa, like Alon knows like these maybe spots that are like punk rock, and I'm into, punk rock. And then I'm like, he knows the spots where like, as a fan, he might have, it's not like you want to, like, for example, when you search Google, you're going to get like the most popular opinion on a place and it's going to be like a tourist hotspot. But if I'm like, I know this person and I want to know like specifically like where they would recommend. In that way, you might actually prefer a friend over the biggest influencer in the world. Because you're like, wait, the biggest influencer in the world, like, are they really like that place? Or is that some kind of deal they have? Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, so that's true. Are they getting paid under the table to promote this?
Yeah.
I know Emilio's always got my back when someone mentions punk rock.
Yeah. So yeah.
No, you're right. You're right. I was holding my tongue. I wanted to make really dumb jokes when you started that statement, but you're totally right. Yeah. So we don't have a lot of time left. I just want to make sure we hit anything that we didn't miss. So we can already go to superworldapp.com right now, start playing with it, adding our stuff. We could buy plots of land for 20 polygon and things like that. So that's pretty rad.
Yep.
Or 100. It was like $20 or something. I think
it's available on the phone as well.
So. Yeah. And the phone app is working well too.
And it works in the browser just as well. There is an app that you can download from the App Store.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, it's a little alpha. We haven't fully announced the app, but it's announced now, and it's great. It's a great place to announce. I'm glad we did it. So go over the app. We are.
You have to be a badass to still be online right now with us. We're like 55 minutes in, so only the cool kids found out about it.
Yeah. No, it's fine too because we it's all ready and stuff. It works well, and so it's a good. We're going to do like an official announcement probably soon for it the next week, leading up to our token launch the next month or so. So go check out the app.
Leading up to the token launch in the next month. Yeah. Anyone who does anything really creative and stuff, report back to us. We'll share it on the upcoming episodes and things. I'll try to come up with fun things. I like the idea of like making 3D versions of ourselves. Like I don't know how to do it yet. I got to do the research and get the app and do the thing, but I want to make versions of myself at all my favorite places with my arm out like this so people can come take selfies with me in AR. And then and something's got to happen. Wouldn't that be rad? Like, Coop, what if I go to DC and you're out of town that weekend, right? I could take selfies with you at all your favorite places. And I could be like, Coop's recommendation, right? And it doesn't have to be a celebrity, right? It could just be your friend. Like, because think about how many times you go to a city your friend has gone to, or you do a thing and you just don't line up, right? Like, oh shit, I came into town the day that you were at your parents' house, whatever. And I think it would be a really fun, just kind of goofy experiment to do. In certain, like, just go to all your favorite places, take selfies there, and then let people come find you in AR or whatever. But let's come up with creative, silly things, because I'm sure this is just me thinking off the top of my head out loud, right? Other people have their own ideas and come up with totally different cool stuff. You know, like,
yeah, it makes sense about Gaussian splat. If you're familiar with that, that's taking photos of objects or locations, and then AI can create a 3D version of that, and you could upload it to Superworld as a GLB file. So you could do that anywhere in the world.
We could also do that with our apes. We have the 3D files and things like that. We're running out of time, but Zuda just came in. I'm going to ask him a question because I think he owns some Superworld land. I think you own some Superworld land, Zuda?
Oh yes, I own Superworld land.
Oh, heck yeah!
How's it
going? Any notable places?
Yeah, but I don't remember which ones because it's been so long.
It's been a while. Well, we got to all jump back to our land. It's been a little while. We're going to experiment. We're running out of time, Zuda, because we're going to do a hard stop at 11 this time and do it right. But I wanted to say hi to you. You got any last questions to Hrish about Superworld? They're going to launch a token soon on Republic. It's going to be really awesome. People are going to be able to invest. And I don't know if invest is the right word, but I think invest is the right word because it's on Republic.
I think it's a great way to get exposure because, like, at least in some areas, some towns, you can look at it and there's not a whole lot of posts there. So the probability that somebody's going to look at your post, if you're the only one in that town or, in that area, or there's only 5 in that area, like, there's a good chance you're going to get some good visibility, I think.
So I do have
influencer.
Unless you're in New York. New York has people all over the place.
So I do have a question for Hrish. Part of Superworld was the whole decentral thing, and a lot of those decentral apps died, and I haven't been keeping up with Superworld. What have you guys done to keep alive?
Oh, you mean like how did we stay around? Is that what you mean? How did we survive?
How did you stick around and stay active over these times when Web3 kind of had a lull?
Yeah, first and foremost, I think I talked about kind of my life, which is I live around the world and I love exploring places. And, I ask people when I travel, like, where should I go? What should I do? And so first and foremost, I mean, Superworld really comes from a problem that I'm trying to solve, which is I love the world. I love exploring the world. And I want to create a way for people to share stories, whether it's Alon's walking trail or that restaurant or the punk rock history or, whatever it is that you want to share about places or memories that you have, or, whether it's real world assets. I think Emilio or someone else asked about that. That could be, I'm looking for real estate opportunities around the world. Right. Yeah. And so I think first and foremost, this comes from a real passion and long-term vision that we have. And it's a community that, I think builds itself as well. Like we all build it together. And so there's a lot of, momentum from all of us doing that over time. We have great investors like Alon and team and everyone who've really backed us and supported us, and the stakeholders. So yeah, I think that's a big part of it.
Heck yeah. No, that's awesome. Zuda, just FYI, I muted you because there was like a background noise. It was feeding back Hrish's talking. So if you want to talk, just make sure you unmute yourself. But one last question, because I think everyone has this question when they start using it, right? You mentioned like the Pokemon style use case. Emilio asked, is it possible to give NFTs that are dropped at a virtual location? Like, so if I go to a location, can I pick up an NFT like you would pick up a Pokemon?
Yeah. You can create. So there's a feature called Create Digital Assets. And so you click on that button, and then you can create NFTs and place them on the map anywhere in the world.
Can you force a person to physically be there, or can they pick it up on the virtual map too?
The NFTs are on the digital map, but you can interact with those NFTs as well physically per se. So you could go to the physical location where the NFT is, and you can check in just as you would check into cool. Any other piece of content. We're building out more of this digital physical functionality that I mentioned, but the concept is the same. If I add something to the map, I can interact with it digitally or in that location physically.
That
would be cool. So create a map where you create an NFT that has a seed phrase word, and you just go place it on your map randomly, and people need to go find your map and find that image. And
I'm just thinking like collectibles, right? Like a limited time, like there's bobbleheads at the Dodger game or whatever, right? But you go NFTs and you go for the next 24 hours or the next week. If you go to Coop's 5 places, you could pick up the 5 cards for that week, right? And only people who go there in person get that, right? Like Coop could make a song, but you have to physically go to the place to collect that song, and everyone will be able to listen to the song, right? Because people pass around the MP3, put it on YouTube, whatever, maybe even release it as a stream, but only the people who show up that one time get the collectible NFT version, right? I love stuff like that. That would be really fun.
I actually asked for this feature in 2020, so it'd be awesome if it comes out.
Yeah, it's out. Yeah, we built it. Yeah, it's and thank you for
mentioning. Can y'all do geolocation? Are y'all doing geolocation for any of this?
100%. Yeah, you can geolocate any of this content. So that's, whether it's a chat group, whether it's an upload, whether it's a link, whether it's a digital asset, whether you want to sell tickets, to DGB Show on Hollywood Boulevard, you can do that, right? Whatever you want, you can geolocate anywhere.
That's awesome. We're over time, so I just want to make sure, Hrish, last minute stuff, superworldapp.com. Where else should everyone be following you?
You can find us on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Twitter, Superworld app. So we're Superworld app everywhere. And if you love our vision, want to get in early as part of our community, superworldapp.com/token to get on the whitelist. Would love to have you there, and that gets you early access. And if you have any questions or want to reach out, I'm always available. And we all build this together. So I really love your insights. Zuda was talking about how he asked for a feature in 2020, and all of the features that people ask for, we try to build them. So thanks, Emilio. Appreciate the support there. Thanks for joining the whitelist.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, everyone. Go to dgb.vc. Where's that thingy? There we go. Make sure you sign up on all the stuff and follow us everywhere. Coop is at CoopDville2000. You can see it at the bottom. Zuda, wait, you're at Zuda's World, right? If I remember correctly. And then we'll do an update on Dreamy next time and stuff too.
Can I tell you something real quick that I'm super happy about?
Yes, last minute thing. Go.
I had so many users yesterday, my server crashed, so I had to scale up.
Congratulations. That's a moment.
Yes.
That's awesome. Next week, actually, we're going to have Rodney Sampson, my good friend who I've known for many years, on the stream. We're going to be talking about his streaming platform, and he's always doing a lot of really, really awesome things like OHub. So make sure you check in next week too. Peace, guys. Thank you so much. Have a really, really great week.
Thanks, guys.